Live from GATS in Dallas, Texas, it's Road Dog Trucking News with host Mark Willis. Join the conversation at 888-8-ROAD-DOG.
Drivers, hey, we are back, and our GATS broadcast is being brought to you by JB Hunt 360. And if you are at GATS, come on by and visit booth 1600 to find out what's new in Carrier 360. Yeah, the show is up and running. We are underway. You can't miss us, ladies and gentlemen. We are right here in the middle of the JB Hunt 360 booth, right across from the programming display, Pearl Jam Radio, Willis Roadhouse, the NFL Network. We're right over by Keep Truckin', PCS Software. We're here. The doors are open, and we are waiting for you. So I hope you get a chance to come on by and see us. And we are going to be here today, tomorrow, and also on Saturday. I'm going to be taping a segment on Saturday that is going to play back later in the evening on Saturday, and it's going to be dealing with safety. And I've got 4 members of America's Road Team are going to be joining me on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. They're going to be part of the roundtable conversation with myself, Mark Reddick from Landline Media. Also, Mr. Dave Nemo is going to be here. Ellen Voya will be on the panel as well. Folks that you hear every single day on the channel are all going to be together. And we're going to be talking about these industry issues. So I hope you get a chance to tune on in coming up on Saturday. Well, it is always great to see Kevin Birch with Jet Express and also Elizabeth Varna with the American Trucking Associations. And guys, I want to talk about that great program, Trucking Moves America Forward. But Kevin, I got to ask you first off. I know Dayton's been just clobbered, absolutely clobbered with tornadoes and different things are going on. Tell folks what they can do to help. Talk about this.
Well, I tell you what, Dayton's been literally devastated. It was Memorial Sunday that at 1 o'clock in the morning that we actually had a record, 15 tornadoes.
That's unbelievable.
And it was a half-mile wide and 19 miles in length, and affected 6 cities, suburbs, if you will, but just north of Dayton, Ohio. And it was just unbelievable that they used bulldozers to take rooftops from hotels off I-75, just north of Dayton. And the devastation now, the last one, because I've been involved in it on some of the meetings and whatnot, over 4,200 buildings, either commercial or residential, were affected to the point where they major repairs. So, and the odd part about it is, truckers, we're the first responders.
Absolutely.
And so they were asking for a lot of help. And guess what? They did call us because, we helped on the Flint deal with the water.
Right.
But this was completely different, Mark. These were homes that were the porches, the garage doors, just big sections. They were saying, well, Kevin, you've got trailers, but, you can't get that in a closed van.
Right. Right.
And so we got together in the ATA and with their help and made some calls. And I got thinking the other day, thank God I was thinking, everything happens in Washington, D.C. There's got to be an association for open top, double bottom. There's got to be somebody there to help.
Right.
Because they were even asking me, what about flatbeds? Well, you can't transport rooftops and garage doors safely.
Right.
You need to have the sand and gravel. So there is a sand and gravel association, if you will.
Did not know that.
And they got in touch. They're just north of Dayton. And they brought some of their trucks in, and everybody in the community has just really helped out.
Now, can drivers that are listening out there, and if they've got time, can they bring their trucks in to help out? Can they volunteer?
It's all, that was Memorial Day. Okay. All the rubbish is taken care of now, okay. and now they're having roofs repaired.
Okay.
Some of the homes were just completely
so the
demolished.
process is rebuilding is underway.
Right, but I will say this, Mark. Being so close involved in that, it was only a few blocks from our headquarters there. It changed the landscape. If you see something day in, day off when you go to work, and then you have a devastation like a tornado, it completely, when you looked at it, it's like, hey, it is completely different. Yeah. And that's what's happened.
I think what's great about the story you're describing is trucking pulled together, the community pulled together, devastation, terrible events for people that are living in that area, but the resources are there. That's the great thing about trucking. When a call goes out, folks do respond to them.
Yeah, they sure did. And the other thing is, you talk about Dayton being tough and whatnot. The shootings that we had recently, 9 people were innocently shot right downtown Dayton. right during the time when there's an issue in Texas as well. That's the world that we live in, and you know, I say prayers so much to the folks in Dayton and the families and whatnot. The president came in to give us respects naturally, and so Dayton's been hard hit.
Well, I know you are doing great work, and you and Elizabeth are out and about talking to drivers, talking about folks that are in the industry, and you've heard stories about folks wanting to help out. And one message that you are taking out there to folks is Trucking Moves America Forward. And that is a great program in itself. And, man, I remember when that thing first launched, maybe 5 years ago.
5 years ago. We're
It has been
celebrating.
5 years. You know, it just started, was in its infancy, and then it took off, and then it got bigger, and it got bigger, and the message is getting out there to folks. That's a great program. Talk about Trucking Moves America Forward.
We are. We're celebrating our 5-year anniversary
Right.
this year. It was in March, and Kevin and I were talking on the way over today that 2 years ago we announced the name of Safety Sammy here at GATS.
Yeah.
So since then we actually have 2 Safety Sammys. The second generation of Safety Sammy actually has arms and is here on the show floor.
Oh, I see a picture of that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So Safety Sammy's here. But we are doing a lot of good things, especially with National Truck Driver Appreciation Week coming up this year. In September, we're going to do the billboard campaign again, where we're working with the state trucking associations and putting up billboards with real people on them, thanking the drivers and letting America know what the trucking industry is all about.
You know, and with the messaging that Trucking Moves America Forward is putting out there, Kevin, I think more and more folks are recognizing, realizing finally just how important the trucking industry is these days.
Well, you know, I've always said this, Mark, is that we need to tell our story. You know, truck drivers, a lot of times we just get the job done.
Yeah.
But we don't tell the people what we do. And that's why I've always enjoyed the I Heart Trucks button, because I get asked about it to tell the story. And as Elizabeth said, 5 years ago, we kicked this off, and Dave Nemo was out there and some other people that helped us. And now we got version 2 with arms, and we've got turn signals, and we're a little bit more DOT
Compliant.
Do you have an ELD on board?
So,
We do.
we do.
Great.
And so it's a little bit more portable. We're getting more requests for it. And it's just another part of telling our story out there.
You know, and telling the story to young people is so critical, right? I mean, when they see Safety Sammy and you're talking about that, the message is going from adults to children. They're understanding it as well, aren't they? I mean, they're starting to get the importance of what those big trucks on the road do.
They are, and I like to have our drivers go into elementary schools with Safety Sammy, but then those kids start thinking about the trucking industry, idolizing the driver that brought the big truck, and hopefully someday they'll want to become a truck driver or get into the industry. But also, by the time they're 16, they're not intimidated by a large truck when they're getting their driver's license, and hopefully can stay safe.
You know, and Kevin, to the point of that as well, right? I mean, the younger the messaging for the younger drivers out there, say the 16 or 17-year-olds, the educational process, if they understand how to drive around those big trucks, we got a safety home run, don't we?
Oh, we sure do. And you know, that's a good segue, if you will, to talk about the younger drivers, period.
Oh, let's do that.
Because I tell you what.
I got a break here. Let's do that. Great segue. We will do that when we come back out of the break. Commercials, you know how that goes. Anyway, if you want to jump in, it's 888-876-2336. Let's update the weather this minute, 50 after Sirius XM.
Welcome back to Road Dog Trucking News with host Mark Willis, live from GATS, the great American trucking show in Dallas, Texas.
There we go, my turn. Sorry about that. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is live radio, as you can probably tell. But you know, we were just talking during the break. Kevin Birch with me with Jet Express, and also Elizabeth Barna with the American Trucking Association. We were just talking about the fact that, man, it seems like we just did this show. I mean, like yesterday, and we just wrapped it up from GATS, and we're back, and we're thrilled to be here. We're going to be here all week long, as a matter of fact, right on through Saturday. So I hope you get a chance to come on by. Now, Kevin, you were mentioning the fact about younger drivers out there, and this is something the industry is really focusing a lot of attention on, bringing new people in. I know there's debate about the 18 to 20-year-olds. We could do a whole show on that as well. But you're seeing good things, right? Young people coming into the industry.
You know, it's a career. That's what we've been trying to do. And for so long, we avoided that word career because God forbid somebody would want to get into our industry rather than go through 4 or 6 years of college. I mean, come on, that's what was going on for all these years.
Sure.
And there's so many unemployed people with $60,000 school loans that they should have bought. They probably have a nice, thriving trucking company with, you can buy a lot of trucks. So in saying that, it's once again telling our story, the opportunity that we have. And you're right, Mark, we could be here till the cows come home talking about,
and they have,
why would you want a teenager behind the wheel?
Right.
All those things that point out how young. But there again, there's two sides to every story.
Absolutely.
We're gonna iron this out one way or the other. But we're closer today than we were a year ago, closer 2 weeks ago, in telling the story about the fact that 48 states do have 18. There's 19-year-olds right now, right outside here on this expressway that are behind the wheel.
Absolutely. They're driving from here to El Paso. I mean, think about that. That's what, almost 1,000 miles.
Right.
I mean, that debate goes on like that.
I was on debate. Oh, go ahead.
And they don't have the training that we're proposing in the Drive Safe Act.
Yeah, and that Drive Safe Act, I mean, that's another big item of conversation out there. Are lawmakers looking at this going, we got to look at this?
They really are.
Yeah.
They really are.
And I think the exciting time and the exciting thing about trucking, it's a great opportunity for everybody to be part of it, to get involved in it. Last 30 minutes on the show, I talked with the folks from the Texas Trucking Association, Don Esparza's group, and we were talking about the Emerging Leaders Council that they've got. I know ATA's.
We have Lead ATA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So that's the thing about it. We're bringing young people in. We just got to get the word out there, and we're making great progress, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I'm all I've done for 46 years is trucking, and I love telling the story that 1 out of 17 Americans are involved in trucking in some way or another. We're 5% of the gross national product. We're over almost 8 million people are involved in it with driving or, the truck stops, the OEMs, the trailers. I mean, you're involved. Your job's about truck. I mean,
absolutely.
And that's the part, the career part on it. But the younger, getting back to that, I had a good conversation the other day about younger drivers, and I kind of switched it around and said, well, I believe you can fly an airplane. You get a license at 16. At 17 years. I mean, there are different things going on, but the good example is about the 48 states.
Yep.
And let's face it, we've been talking about the driver shortage for a long time. We are all getting older.
Yes.
And they are retiring, and the more of the new fad comes out, we need to, and that's what ATA and TCA and the rest of the groups, Women in Trucking, all those groups, we're all different, but we all have a common thread, and that's CDL.
Yep.
And we're proud of our safety record, and those are the things that we want to do. And I think we can do it young.
Absolutely. I know you guys are going to be here through the weekend. You're going to be here through Saturday.
Correct.
Let's get the booth number out there where folks can maybe find you. Maybe once they get here, they can look up the Trucking Moves America Forward booth or the ATA booth.
I tell you what it is. I'm not familiar with the number, but Mark, the JB Hunt 360, like it says, right in the middle.
Okay, right.
We're right at you go down just past yours, all the way back to the trailer, and you'll see it.
Okay.
And if you're a golfer, it's about a half a wedge.
There we go. Okay. That's going to put it in perspective. Outstanding. Well, guys, thank you. I've got to get ready to wrap it up.
Much.
Absolutely. And again,
Thanks,
Kevin
Mark.
Birch and Elizabeth Barna with the American Trucking Association with me.